Instant air dashes, or IAD for short, is the action of jumping into the air and dashing at very low heights. It's a great way to move around the screen and extend combos. The only problem is that it's a fairly difficult technique to execute. So in this video, I am going to talk about techniques to make instant air dashes more consistent. I'll be mainly going over examples in Guilty Gear and Melty Blood, but keep in mind, these techniques are common amongst most air dashers. We'll first go over the quote-unquote, the normal way to do an air dash, which is pressing in an upward direction, then double tapping forward or backward. The problem with this input is that you have to do 3 separate directional inputs in fast succession, which can lead to executional errors and may be very difficult based on the controller you are using. Fortunately, most fighting games allow a shortcut of up forward, forward for forward air dash, or up back, back for backward air dash. The logic behind this is that the diagonal direction of the jump input also counts as the first input of the dash. So with this method, we can reduce the number of inputs from 3 to 2, which makes instant air dashes significantly easier. The only problem with this method is that you can only dash in the direction you are jumping. For example, if you want to jump back then air dash forward, you cannot use this method. However, some games allow the player to use attack buttons to dash, which comes to our second technique, the dash macro. This method is fairly dependent on the game, as not all games allow button dashes, and how it's implemented can be quite different. For example, Guilty Gear XX and Xrd do not have button dashes, but Guilty Gear Strive does. Guilty Gear Strive has a dedicated dash button that you can set. Pressing it with any non-back or down direction will cause the character to dash forward, while holding back or up back will cause the character to dash backwards. By using this, a player can jump in any direction while dashing either way with a maximum of 2 directional inputs. Another example will be from Melty Blood Type Lumina. This game does not have a dedicated dash button, but A and B can be pressed together for a similar effect. The big difference is that a forward or backward direction must be inputted, or else the dash will not be executed. Let's now set a macro for A plus B. I'm going to set it to a left shoulder button since I'm using an arcade style controller, but you can use whatever you feel comfortable with. Now I'm going to do an air dash combo with red arc wave of crouching C, standing charge C to instant air dash C. The inputs are down C, hold C, up forward A plus B, then C. If you watch carefully, the whole entire instant air dash sequence is 1 directional input and 2 buttons, which is quite simple compared to using directions to air dash. The last technique I'm going to showcase will involve buffers, which is a method of executing inputs ahead of time. A lot of the difficulty from instant air dash combos come from having poor inputs from the pressure of wanting to do them fast. For example, Guilty Gear Xr's Ino has a combo that requires her to instant air dash after standing hard slash. The problem with this combo is that if you do the inputs too early, the dash will not come out. The difficulty comes from the set number of frames the hard slash has to go through before Ino can jump cancel and go into the air. So if you input the air dash sequence too early, the jump will trigger, but the dash will not. This is due to the game having a minimum height requirement for the dash to occur. One solution is to simply delay the timing and input the up forward input in the later frames of the hard slash. The other is to buffer the up forward input very early in the hard slash and wait until you're at a specific height of the jump to input the forward dash input. This method requires an extra input compared to the prior one, but may allow a player to parse the inputs better since there is a bigger gap between the jump and dash, and also slow down execution if it was being done too fast. There you have it, techniques for instant air dashes. There are generally no right or wrong way of doing these, and it all comes down to preference. But hopefully, with these choices, you get to find one that works for you. Now before I end this video, I want you to know we make various fighting game content, so check them out. And if you like this video, consider sharing and subscribing to our channel. Alright, till next time, have fun with fighting games.